In a world where carbs are your enemy, you need one man to help you fight your battles. That man is Jimmy.
Combating nutrition disinformation and general bull. It's Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another Instagram Live, and we're here with another episode of Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com is the website, and as always, you can engage live in the content, but you got to go follow me over on Instagram Live. I'm at Livin' Low Carb Man, LIVIN LOWCARBMAN. Once you're there, you can engage live just like Sarah, Joshua, Dana, another Dana, MP Laughlin, Susie, Nancy. There's so many people coming in right now, like all at the same time. You just got to be here. Thank you guys for being here today. Thanks for hanging out here on Jimmy Rants. If you missed the live, you can watch it on replay for up to 24 hours. After 24 hours, it does disappear. Pop on over to YouTube. Just type in a keyword search, Jimmy Rants. You will find the show. And finally, the best of the best moments of this year's show, we make a podcast out of it. It's over on Apple Podcasts. It's called Jimmy Rants as well. It's on Apple Podcast and Stitcher. And all of these links, you guys, are at JimmyRants.com. Today's Jimmy Rants, I want to talk about something that happened to me yesterday. So you guys know I'm an open book, and I will always share things that happen in my life. And regular fans of the show, you know, I've been traveling quite a bit lately, so it's been a little bit sporadic doing some of these Jimmy Rants. I'll be on the road tomorrow, heading to the Keto event, and so it's been quite busy lately, but I didn't do any Jimmy Rants yesterday, and there was a good reason for it. I, for the first time in my life, had somewhat of a mental breakdown where I started thinking about things on a really deep level to the point that I just had sudden feelings of being down, being depressed. I wasn't in a good place yesterday, and I had some friends help me through that. I certainly shared all about that on social media, that I had, you know, some people that helped talk me off the ledge, so to speak. Not that I was in any danger, blah, 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 but it wasn't good. And it was the first time in my entire life I've ever felt that way. And I think just the thinking about the sabbatical that's coming up and thinking about, you know, a lot of the things that have to get done and just the whole realization that I'm stepping away for 6 months, I think it all just kind of convulged yesterday. And it hit me hard. And so anyway, it inspired me to talk about this because I don't think I'm alone in having these moments. And we all have these things in our life that happen that give us a moment where we need to cry. We need to have emotion come out. We need to just be. And I think our society doesn't allow for that. And so what I'm talking about here today is it's okay if you're going to have a moment, but don't let that sabotage you. Don't allow it to come into your life and take you over. And especially if you're doing a ketogenic approach, you don't want to ruin all your keto efforts because you're having a moment. And I know this is pretty raw and vulnerable today, and I'm happy to be that way, by the way, because I think it's real life to say, hey, look, things are going to suck sometimes. And for me, yesterday was that day. Yesterday was one of those kinds of days, and it was really a hard place. I'll tell you what happened for me. A lot of times when things like this happen, stress hits, people get hungry, and they desire to have crappy garbage. You know why your body, by the way, craves carbs when you're down and when you're depressed and when you have a moment, so to speak? The reason is you're looking for a dopamine rush. And your body knows the quickest way to give you a dopamine rush is to make you crave sugar and to make you crave refined carbohydrates. That's why you want to eat all the cookies and all the cakes and all the pies and all the ice cream when you're not feeling well. When you're having a moment, your body is sending you signals for those things, not because those things inherently are something you need, but because it knows that that's the quickest way to give you a dopamine rush. So that's why you crave crap. Well, for me yesterday, I was so low that I didn't want anything at all. And I literally didn't eat all day. I had no appetite, which was interesting because you would think with stress that it would have increased hunger hormones, especially for somebody like myself. So anyway, all that to say, it didn't sabotage me. When I was able to talk with friends and come out of this and get my head back somewhat, I was able to have some meat and cheese for my dinner. I ate really late last night because by the time I came out of it, it was late in the day. So it was like 9:45 by the time I got me some luncheon meats and some cheese and did little roll-ups dipped in mustard. And so that's what I did. And so I did not succumb to wanting the crap. But a lot of people do. And a lot of people, they allow those things to take them over. And I'm not an overly emotional person, so yesterday was kind of an anomaly for me. But there are a lot of people that are pretty emotional and stay emotional all the time. And I think that constant keeping your body in a sympathetic state that requires you to want to have to eat and eat things that aren't on plan, it's such a saboteur. And so people are like, well, maybe I shouldn't have had the moment. No, we're all going to have the moments. For me, it was what it was yesterday. For you, it might be something else. But we're all going to have those moments in our life. I don't think we need to suppress the moments. I don't think we need to deny them. They're going to happen. The question is, how do you handle those things? Do you allow it to just completely break you down to the point that you give up and you just do whatever you want and then you start feeling bad about yourself because of that? See how it's kind of this cascade domino effect that takes place if you don't nip it in the bud and grab it early. So is this resonating at all? Are you guys relating to this? Because this has been really heavy on my heart today because of what happened to me yesterday. That wasn't fun, guys. It wasn't. But I think it's okay to have the moment. If you're just joining us, yesterday I had a moment where it was rough, and I thankfully had some dear friends that were able to help me through some of the head stuff I was dealing with, thinking a lot about the sabbatical. There's been some interesting little stressful situations lately, and I think it just all convulged up in my brain yesterday, and it just really hit me upside the head like a skillet, like an iron skillet upside the head, and I was just down and couldn't figure out why. So I had a moment, but I did not let it sabotage my keto efforts. And there's a lesson there, guys, because I think if you mentally prepare yourself that moments are going to happen, some people, I'll just try to hedge myself from ever having moments. And I'm like, yeah, good luck with that. How's that going to work? How do you prevent moments from happening? The moments happen. They're going to happen. I think it's silly, and it's also unrealistic to think that your brain won't go there if you've got things going on. And I think it's okay to say out loud, stuff is going to happen. It's called living life. And if you're on this earth for any modicum of time, you're going to figure out stuff just happens. I mean, like suddenly stuff, things out of nowhere stuff. My web guy, Hank, he just lost his father. And 6 months ago, he lost his mother. So within the span of 6 months, he has lost both of the people who were his parents. And you wouldn't fault someone like that for having a moment. And that's just one example. I mean, there's tons of examples we could give of how you have those moments. It's not the moments themselves that matter. It's the response to those moments. So do you have a plan in place in your head / in your heart / in the practicality of it all to help you deal with those moments when they come up? I hope so. Yesterday when that hit me, it kind of took me a little bit by surprise because I've never, ever in my entire life experienced the kind of moment yesterday that I had. I am not a naturally down or depressed guy. You guys know, and what you see on Jimmy Rants is the authentic Jimmy Moore. I don't get down. And yesterday I was down. Yesterday, the convergence of all of these things that I've been thinking about, some of the downtime I've had lately has made my brain swirl. I was awake at 2 o'clock in the morning yesterday, wide awake, and couldn't get back to sleep. And I think it was just all these things were just swirling in the head about the upcoming sabbatical and the things I had to get done. And we've had some circumstances lately, some financial things happening. So, I mean, between all of that, I think my brain was just like, no, we're out. And it made this situation pop up. And it was no fun. Thankfully, I have some loving friends and a loving wife that helped get me through that, and it was good. But that was a moment. And it could have been a moment that would have broke a lot of people if there was not some kind of a plan. Now, for me, because I've done this for so long, I didn't need a, quote, plan in place to prevent me from eating junk just because I was having a down day. For me, it's because I've done this for so long and I've made that transition in my head that this isn't just about here today, gone tomorrow with the way I eat. The way I eat's the way I eat, and I will eat this way for the rest of my life. So there was not even a moment that I was going to go get some crappy food just so I could feel better. And yet that's the first thing a lot of people do when they have a moment, when they have something happen in their life where they just aren't totally there, or just things hit them. And circumstances can break even the strongest person. I remember this couple in our church about a decade ago. They had triplets for babies, and all 3 of the babies came out almost stillborn. And so they were on life support, and one by one, all of the babies died within a month. Devastating. And this was one of the strongest Christian couples you'll ever meet in your life. Devastating. And yet they overcame it. They got through it. They had that moment. And that would wreck a lot of people. And yet they got through it because of their faith in God. But they had a plan in place that helped them be stronger. But even they had their moment. And so, if you're just joining us, we're talking about those moments in life that can derail even your best efforts to be keto or healthy or whatever you're doing. And they sabotage you. And I had one such moment yesterday that could have sabotaged me. It did not, by the way. I stayed on plan. I had a very late meal after not eating all day yesterday because of this very upsetting situation. I was able to eat last night, and I stayed keto carnivore because that's what I do. And when you have that goal in place, nothing, not even some of the emotional stuff, will derail you from that. And I think That's something I want to impart upon you, because you may not have a breakdown like I had yesterday, but you got other stuff that are moments in your life. So what are you doing to hedge yourself against those kinds of things overtaking you and basically ruining all the good that you do with your keto or whatever your plan is? That's what I wanted to share with you guys today. I think it's a great unspoken, because nobody wants to talk about, well, you should just be strong. No, crap. This bull crap. We're all going to go through stuff. And if we're all going to go through stuff and moments are going to happen, and you know that ahead of time, then maybe you can hedge it. Maybe you can prevent it from overtaking you. Maybe you can prevent the sabotage from happening that seems inevitable when things like this pop up. They don't have to be an inevitability. They could be an afterthought. They could be okay, that stunk in the moment, but now here's what I'm going to do. And I suppose I should be a little bit grateful that the moment that I had yesterday was I was so distraught by it that it took away my appetite. Because for a lot of people in that situation, you get the stress of feeling distraught, and it actually goes the other direction, and it causes hunger from the cortisol and the stress hormone being released. I didn't have that. I don't know why. I didn't have that, but it was pretty bad yesterday, which is why I didn't do a Jimmy rant. So anyway, I want to see what you guys have to say. This is kind of a heavy topic, but I think it's one that bears talking about, because not a lot of people talk about this whole idea of it's okay to have moments. I think sometimes people are under the false illusion that, well, if everything's going well with keto, you should never have any issues happen, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, that's just not realistic. Come on. Keto ain't a magic pill for all your woes that you'll ever face. Yep, there's some people that believe that. Can't wait to meet you and Christine, says Tammy. Yeah, thank you. I will be at KetoCon, but Christine will not. She is currently not doing well. She's got a really bad cold that she got from the recent family trip. Her brother brought a friend with him, and the friend brought a cold, and she has bronchitis and tonsillitis or upper trachea, whatever. She's got all this kind of weird stuff happening that she's on medication for now. So just me. Take a moment, but don't stay there, says Mitzi. That's a good way to put it, Mitzi. And for me, I had several hours there that I needed to take. And it was tough. I mean, I have never in my entire life felt like I felt yesterday. It was the weirdest sensation, because I am generally a very happy guy, and I generally take a lot of things in stride, but I think my brain yesterday went, nope. I've been thinking so much about the sabbatical and thinking so much about all these things that have been happening and will happen or are coming, that I think it was just the convergence of all of that stuff that made the brain go, nope, we're not talking, nope, shutting down, nope. And I had my moment. It took almost all day. Like I said, it started at 2 a.m. and it slowly built its way to about midday when it was really bad. And thankfully I had some friends I could call and talk to and talk things out. And I'm grateful for those friends, by the way. And then it still took a few hours after that before everything kind of calmed down and I was back. But it was a moment. And I'm not there today. I mean, that's the good news. Today, I'm doing much better. I'm in a very good mood today. Real excited about the trip coming up tomorrow. But I had the moment. And I didn't allow it to sabotage me. And I'm really happy about that. Keto Purple Owl says, it's okay to not be okay. Just don't unpack and live there. Yeah, there are people that are certainly woe is me type of people, where one little thing happens to them and or a perception of something happening to them, and then they stay there. And those people are hard to be around. Sometimes those are people that you love to death, but you just want to slap them upside the head and say, why do you constantly have a woe is me attitude and wallow in the pity? And those are the people that keep their bodies under such stress that even the best efforts nutritionally, they're never going to get anywhere. That does frustrate me sometimes when I see those kinds of people, but they're making a conscious choice, whether they realize it or not, I guess, a choice to be that way. And I think it's okay to have that moment, but like you said, Purple Owl, don't unpack it and don't live there. Move right along. Tammy says, I'm sorry to hear that. Thank you for being open and honest. I struggle with depression. And that's the thing. I don't struggle with depression. I'm probably the most anti-depression guy you've ever met because I'm always happy. Literally always happy. That's just been my nature, which is why when this happened yesterday, it came out of left field. And I'm like, why do I feel this way? It was the weirdest, most bizarre sensation I've ever had in my life. Because when you're a happy person, you don't exude unhappiness. And yet I had great unhappiness yesterday. Debbie says, those days are the bleep. I feel for you because I struggle too. Yeah, I don't know how people who get these moments more often than me, that's the first time that's ever happened to me. I don't know how people that deal with that. Now, in a way, I'm glad I dealt with that. Because now, if somebody says, hey, I'm in the deep pits of depression and I don't know why I feel the way I feel and blah, 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 I can say, I know what that feels like. So I'm trying to spin it a little bit to a positive. It was a really not positive yesterday. And today, in hindsight, it's a big positive because I think that's going to help me empathize with some people. Whereas before, I could never understand why people got down and depressed to the point, and then they couldn't have an explanation as to why they felt that way. I never, ever understood that. Now I understand it, at least from one moment in my life. Charming Confession says, I have to be very self-aware of those moments because it's in those moments I want to lean back on a full-blown binge. And that's the thing, Charming. I thought once that started hitting that I would be like going to the store and buying every crappy garbage thing you could think of. I didn't, and I wouldn't. And I think that's a testimony to the fact that I've done this for so long that my body didn't even crave that. And by the time my body calmed down from the moment and I was hungry and I did eat at 9:45 at night, I stuck with the plan. I had meat and cheese roll-ups dipped in mustard. That's what I needed, and I felt good. I had that, by the way, again today. I was a little more hungry today, so I just finished having that about an hour ago. It's probably all I'm going to eat all day. Debbie says, totally resonate. I have respect so much for your openness. Thank you. And I always try to be open, guys, because if I don't share things like this, which I know puts me in a very vulnerable position. Oh, you're not supposed to talk about that. You're a keto leader. You never have bad days. Yeah, get over it, because I do have bad days. And I've had bad days before, and that's certainly moments as well. This was to a whole deeper level than just a bad day. I wasn't doing well. But I'm okay now, and I probably will be okay. I do think just thinking so much about this sabbatical, this is probably the most revolutionary thing I'm doing in my life, choosing to go away for 6 months. And I think the reality of it's starting to set in a bit of what I'm doing. And at a conscious level, I think all of those things, they start to have an impact on you. I wouldn't be human if they didn't have an impact on me. Nancy says that hits all of us sooner or later. Glad you had friends that could help you through it. Sending you a big hug. Thank you. Honey Got Keto says we all have those moments, but we rise above it. Well, we should rise above it, that's for sure. Nancy says it's my Christian faith and friends that pull me through. They certainly help with that. Heather Coohan says burnout will do that. Been there, brain spinning, definitely time for a break. Yeah, it could be, Heather, that this is just another sign that it's time for that sabbatical. So 9 weeks. 9 weeks, but who's counting, right? Berkeley says, this has derailed my keto and carnivore so many times. I am by nature very optimistic, but those days I literally have to use my prayer life and faith just to get through it. Yeah, you're not alone. There's a lot of people that deal with that. Yellow-eyed, I'm an emotional person. I'm nervous and edgy. I pretty much have been a long time, hence probably why I overeat, even on keto. I also do that self-sabotage thing. Yeah, and you're not alone. Yellow-eyed, I think that's honest. I think if you go through those kind of things in your life, yeah, they're going to hit you. And you know those people in your life that are just like you, that take everything emotionally, and when you take things emotionally, it manifests itself physiologically, making you want to binge, making you gain weight. It's not for naught. Are you good now? Yeah, I'm good now, Lisa. Thank you for asking. Let's see. While keto has calmed a lot of my stress and anxiety, says Jax, it's also caused other stresses and anxieties, like you said. People blame keto when you feel unwell from time to time. They do. And I don't think the best ketogenic diet in the world, with all the grass-fed, panda-massaged meat you could ever eat and organic vegetables, I don't think all that in the entire world would ever overcome a stressed body, a lack of sleep, hormonal imbalances, taking medications. All of those things have an impact on your body. Val says, I had a family situation to deal with, had a long talk with Jesus about it. I don't always deal with things like that as well as I did. I think keto definitely helps you deal with these situations a little better than if you weren't keto. And maybe that's why I was able to be resilient yesterday, was I eat keto, and I am able to have a better brain function and everything because of that, and generalized stabilized mood. Now, what triggered the depression, I don't know, but thankfully keto was there to save me. Val says you're going to have more empathy for people. Well, I certainly understand what that feels like, because I never understood it before yesterday. 47 years old and finally had the first bout of whatever that was. I don't even know what to call it. I was talking to Christine about it, and I said, is that a panic attack? What is that? She's like, I've had panic attacks. That's not a panic attack. That's just depression. Tammy says, my depression gets better on keto. Hope to be off the meds soon. And it does help a lot of people with that. It's really interesting. Yellow-eyed says, y'all need that time off. Thankfully, I take time off from work when I need to. And I could too. So when I get back from this sabbatical, that's going to be something that I'll probably just already pencil in now. All right, I'm going to be back, but every X amount of time, I'm going to take X amount of time away just to refresh, recharge, and then come back. And that way I don't have to go away for 6 months again. C. Ander says, it's what's in your heart. Don't let the ugly people poison your heart. Yeah, that's easy to say. I appreciate that. And by the way, there's been a lot of people lately, oh, well, you just need to not let these people bother you, and you need to just let... No, that's unfair to someone who feels. And I care very deeply about the people that follow my work. And if you care about people and want to share good with people and feel their pain and want to be there as a help for them, I don't think you can do that while simultaneously not feeling the bad stuff and not having a reaction emotionally that happens with the bad stuff. Now, that thing yesterday had nothing to do with haters or anything like that. It was just the convergence of all of this thinking about a lot of things all at the same time, and it just, boom, hit me. In the day-to-day-ism of it all, though, I don't think the haters impacted me near like I was impacted yesterday. Mama Orr says, I'm still an emotional eater, trying to work at that. Keep looking up. Oh, thank you, Mama Orrs. This journey is the hardest and yet the easiest. Stay the course. Yep. Thank you, Berkeley. Yellow-eyed says it sounds like it was an anxiety attack. Yeah, whatever it was I don't want that again. And Val, you're articulating exactly what Christine said. Val says it's a spiritual attack. Yeah, Christine said that exact thing, that I'm taking time for myself, and I, as a Christian, believe there is spiritual warfare that goes on. And I think the good things that I have done will continue because of this sabbatical. And so, yeah, I agree with you and Christine. I think it was a spiritual attack. Nancy says, I'm self-employed and it's really challenging giving ourselves time to be off. I'm working on that too. Yeah. And it's one of those things that I'm going to continue to work on during the sabbatical. And when I'm back from it, I think it's going to be very helpful. There are just so many cruel folks out there. Oh, yellow-eyed one. Get a little bit Insta-famous and you'll see what cruel really is. And I think I'm an easy target because I still have weight on the body. So people can judge me for that. Oh, look, keto's not working, blah, blah, blah. I'm also very open and honest, which means sharing vulnerably some good and bad things at the same time. And so that also opens me up for attack. I also am a little bit in your face sometimes about things with very strong opinions, and that will bring out boo birds. So between all of those things, I think I'm an easy target. I certainly get my fair share, or I would say unfair share, of criticism for a wide variety of things. And not just vegans, not just anti-meat people. This is a lot of keto people too. And so it's one reason we're stepping away for 6 months. Val says, you help so many people, so the enemy doesn't want you to get better. I believe that. I do. Cloudy days make the sunny days that much better. It does, Seander. And see, today I'm doing really good. Today I feel great. I'm doing great, and everything's fine. What happened yesterday? I don't know. That was a weird experience. Yellow-eyed says, God bless you both. I look forward to y'all helping me through by listening. Yes, yes, yes. All right, guys. So the bottom line in this Jimmy Rants is you're going to have moments. I had one yesterday. Bad moment yesterday. That's why I didn't do any Jimmy Rants. I was in no state of mind yesterday. I had several ideas that I wanted to do Jimmy Rants. And when this thing hit, nothing mattered. I was down, and I had friends that helped pull me out, thankfully, and a loving wife that was there to hear me out, and it was good. And that's the first time in my life that's ever happened. So I was glad to have a support team. I almost came on Jimmy Rants to see if you guys would cheer me up. But I was like, no, I can't go on Jimmy Rants and do that. So, but I can talk about it the next day, because I think today, talking about it, it's good to articulate all this, because this is going to be an encouragement to you. And this is going to help you when those moments arise, that you don't have to let these kind of moments totally derail you and sabotage you in your keto efforts. You don't. And we're going to have those moments. Are you ready for them? Maybe you're going through a moment now and you're tempted to go and have carbs and eat whatever. Oh, you're allowed because you're not feeling well. I don't agree with that. I think if you have moments are going to happen. You let the moments happen. You dust yourself off, pick yourself up, and then you get right back on plan again. I don't think it's a license to go eat whatever you want just to, quote, feel better. I don't believe that. George says, my pastor is taking a much-needed sabbatical in July. I enjoy my weekly Sabbath rest on Sunday. I try to slow down on the weekends. It's almost impossible, George, for me to take a complete sabbatical on Sundays. But I slow down greatly, generally on Saturday and Sunday from my work. But I'm about to do 6 months of Sundays, because not doing a thing for 6 months, all that kind of just, it's setting in now. It's wicked. Amy says, you have a precious heart. Thank you for being willing to take a beating to get the keto word out. Beating is the word. Because nobody should get the kind of emotional abuse that I get on a daily basis. Nobody. Tammy says, do you think you're second guessing taking time off? Oh, not at all. No. Not second guessing, but I think the reality now that it's getting closer is setting in. In fact, one of my friends that I talked to yesterday, I was telling that person that it's getting real. And that if I'm getting this emotional 9 weeks out from the sabbatical, what am I gonna be like the day before? What's August 31st going to be like? August 31st is gonna be, will I be apoplectic that day? I'm coming on Jimmy Rants, I promise, that day, but man, where's my head gonna be? And it's gonna be a moment. I'm sure you guys are okay with that. It's okay to pull back as needed. God bless you. Thank you, Holistic Ketosis. Liz says, I think of you as a pioneer and leader in this community. You're very important. Just think of all the people you've helped in their health and professional life. Thanks for what you do. Thank you, Liz. I do think about that. And that's what's making this emotional for me going away, is all of that. And it's setting in pretty hard. Seander says, don't forget the people you've helped and never stopped helping. Yeah, I will always help. If the good Lord gives me breath to breathe, I'm going to be helping. And I think that's what we're supposed to do. And especially those of us that have been successful. I've been highly successful. I wouldn't trade all of the good stuff that has happened for anything. I mean, I don't deserve the blessing that I've gotten with the books and all the things that I've done. I don't feel like I deserve all of that, because I was just a guy that was passionate and just put feet to it all. And so if it means I take a moment like I did yesterday, and step back and reflect on all of that, it could just overwhelm some people. And it did me yesterday. Only you can take care of you. Though that's what I'm doing. So Beth says it'll probably be a shock to you. So much is going to be revealed during your human beingness. I'm excited for you as well as upon your return. Yeah, I want to do another Jimmy Rants where I kind of talk about some of the things that I will be doing in the midst of the sabbatical. But one thing I want to do, because I'm used to coming on here with you guys every day, one thing I do want to do is do a daily video journal. And obviously it wouldn't be for public consumption. I wouldn't do an Instagram live, but I would share on video, just take an iPhone video and keep a daily journal. Day 1 of my 6-month sabbatical. Today I feel blank, and this could be really interesting. Day 67 of my 6-month sabbatical, and it was a good day, blah, blah, and so just, that would be fascinating. And I really want to do that. I think that would be interesting. And if there's anything of interest that comes from that, then, maybe we make like a little movie or something out of it when I get back. Hopefully you'll remember all of us when you come back, Berkeley. That's one of the fears about this, is going away 6 months. It's like you can be quickly forgotten if you're not there in the presence of people. Now, the good news is I have so much content built up between Jimmy Rants and my podcasts and all that. I have so much content that if you need to hear my voice and need to be exposed to my work during the time that I'm away, we're going to be airing repeats of Jimmy Rants on my Living La Vida Low Carb Show podcast while I'm gone. If you need to hear my voice and be encouraged, you're going to have a lot of content. So it's not like I won't be present in that way. I just won't be physically present. All the thinking came crashing down. It happened to a lot of people, and you do deserve your success. Thank you. I had a couple people ask me this week about keto, praying I can explain it correctly. Well, Val, you've been exposed to the message long enough. I'm sure you did well. What's the saying? When you have abundance, don't build a bigger wall, build a bigger table. You do exactly that. It makes you worthy of it all. Thank you, Beth. I try to pass it on to other people, and I have opened doors for people to get books that had a desire to write books. I've helped them get signed to my publisher, and I've helped people start podcasts, and really tried to be a help any way that I can, because when you've been blessed, you bless, and that's my motto, and it will continue to be my motto. And if for some reason all the success I have goes away and it stops happening, I'll still be a giver, because I got to have a taste of what it's like, and I want other people to experience that. You could always disable comments. That would be quite a sabbatical. Well, Amy, I'm going to do more than that. Forget disable comments. You're talking about doing a daily video. No. I'm not even. That would be work. Uploading and then even disabling the comments. I want comment. I don't mind comments. So that's the thing. It would be for my own consumption to be able to look at those videos. It wouldn't be extremely long videos. It'd be, 5-10 minutes, unless I just have something heavy on the heart that I really want to talk about in the midst of it. Little snippets here and there, just to kind of give you a glimpse of what's going on. I will tell you some interesting things. So while I've been slowed down in the months of May and June, something really fascinating has happened. I have lost 12 pounds. I didn't try to lose weight. I wasn't doing anything different than I normally do, but just slowing down, guys. Just slowing down, not stopping, slowing down. My body has rewarded me by helping me lose 12 pounds. That's not for nothing. And it's a good, interesting glimpse of things to come when I go from not just slowing down, but stopping, and completely stopping, and not just stopping, but then implementing various strategies, which I will talk about in another Jimmy Rants coming up, of things I'm going to be doing in the midst of this, things that will push the envelope, that if I don't lose weight doing these things I'm going to be doing, there is something really, really bad wrong. You've forgotten? Psh, never, ever. Thank you, Beth. Yeah. Mama Ors and Berkeley, all you guys. Grandma Does Keto says, after disappearing for a while, it's actually helped me quite a bit. I wondered where you were, Grandma. Still keto as ever and clearing my mind while taking care of family. Well, good for you. I'm going to be following your lead here in about 9 weeks. I'm still going to message you just adoration and encouragement. Yeah, unfortunately, Beth, I am turning off everything. I'm literally deleting every app for social media. Not deleting the accounts, but just deleting it off of my phone. So I'm not looking at it. The only thing I'm keeping on my phone besides the phone and text message is Words with Friends. So yeah, it's going to be fascinating. Less stress makes a huge difference. It always does. Maybe we all need a sabbatical, says Berkeley. I think everybody does need a sabbatical. And for some people, that once a week, taking one day off where you do nothing and you chill, relax, and reflect, that's what you do. But for other people, that can't be enough. So yeah, the stressful events around my world took my weight down, but I'm okay. Well, Grandma, I'm glad you're back. Beth says, I found 7 of those pounds since we met. Cortisol has ruled me in my car trouble, lack of work stress, amping up intermittent fasting and extended fasting for a week. Once a week, I realized that, but it'll be there when you come back. Oh, you're talking about when you write me. Yeah, I'm going to have so many messages come in while I'm gone. I'm going to see if the guy that answers my emails and does some of my social media, if he can keep up with some of that for me, so I'm not overwhelmed when I come back in March. Low Carb New Yorker, can I be your Words with Friend? You better. I'm at Living Low Carb Man. So yeah, just like I am everywhere else. Go look me up if you want to play Words with Friends. I'll tell you now, I'm the most competitive Words with Friends person you'll ever play. I will bash your head in and not apologize for it. Unless you're one of those that's really good as well. But I do love Words with Friends. Did you get involved in the 72-hour fast? I like the mental challenge, says Jamie. I was not invited to that. I saw my friend Keto Coach Lauren and Danny Vega and Killing It Keto and all these people talking about this fast. And I'm like, I would have loved to have done that, guys. I can fast in my sleep now. But anyway, no, I did not. But I will be doing my own fasting. You're going to need another month to get through all your messages. Yeah. I'm already being invited to speak at various conferences when I get back. And I'm like, guys, I'm going to need a little bit of time to get my feet back under me again. So wouldn't it be great if you had a keyword thing to filter out negative responses ahead of time? Well, I hired someone, Beth, to look through my stuff for me. And so that has helped. And he is shielding me from a lot of things. But sometimes they definitely sneak through. All right. So we're all out of time, you guys, for this Jimmy Rants. So go to jimmyrants.com. We're like 300. What did I just upload? Episode 364. 365 episodes as of this one. So if you watched one Jimmy Rants episode or two Jimmy Rants episodes every single day during my sabbatical, I already have enough content to keep you busy. So jimmyrants.com is where all of those videos are embedded. We also have the podcast listed there. You can look at all the podcast episodes. We don't make a podcast out of all of them. Just select ones. So go check it out. All those links are there, jimmyrants.com. But if you want to engage live, I'm still around till September the 1st. So go follow me live over on Instagram. I'm at Living Low Carb Man, LIVINLOWCARBMAN. Once you're there, you can actually engage live, just like these guys. You remind me of my brother Tony. He gave me guidance, and I miss him so. Well, I'll be your surrogate Tony, yellow-eyed, if that helps you out in your life. Don't kiss Christine so you don't get sick at KetoCon, says Tammy. No, Christine is at the mountain home right now. I'm in our home in Spartanburg, tying up a few loose ends here, paying bills, yada, yada. So no, I'm nowhere near Christine. So if you missed the live, you can watch it on replay for up to 24 hours. After 24 hours, it does pop on over to YouTube. That's where we put all the past episodes. In fact, I just uploaded episode 364 to YouTube right before I got on here. So go check out there. Just type in a keyword search Jimmy Rants. You will find the show. If you want to see if I've talked about something, type in Jimmy Rants and then some keyword, cholesterol, Jimmy Rants vegan, Jimmy Rant, come up with what you want to see if I've done a rant on. And in a search on YouTube, it's pretty cool to find past episodes. Finally, the best of the best moments of this here show is in podcast form. It's the Jimmy Rants podcast on Apple Podcasts as well as Stitcher. Again, all of these links, you guys, are at jimmyrants.com. Should I do one more Jimmy Rants today? I've got a goodie, you guys. Where did I put it? It's right over here. I have a really goodie because there is a movement afoot. There is a movement afoot to silence all voices of alternative health on Google. You guys know I've talked about how Wikipedia has scrubbed a lot of us keto people. Well, guess what? Google is starting to get in on the act. And they have done it to some of the biggest names in alternative health. And it ain't pretty. So it's 4 o'clock Eastern right now. Maybe I'll come back in a couple of hours and do that one because it's shocking, guys. And guess what? It's happened to me too. You do a Google search of my stuff, you can't find it anymore. You can't, and you used to. And I'll tell you exactly why they're doing that, Berkeley, when I come back with the next episode of Jimmy Rants. How's that for the ultimate tease? You're just going to have to be back here in a couple of hours. We'll see you then, guys.